What's up, YouTube family? T.O. here, Simplistic Fishing. I'm out here on Hubbard today. I only had about 3 hours to fish this morning. I got to go close on some land, so super excited about that. Hopefully in a barn we can do some videos in there. It's gonna be cool stuff. But anyways, wanted to reach out to you tonight. It's time to talk to you about Friday's top baits for this weekend. Unfortunately, I was out of town all week, so I just got back last night. Came out this morning, did some fishing like I said, and just was trying to feel around to kind of get a feel for what the heck was going on this week, if anything had changed. And a couple of things that I think are really starting to settle in, especially this time of season, is one, it's obviously getting super hot. We've had a lot of hot days. We've had a couple cool days here and there, but overall the water temperature is definitely going up. So a couple things you want to look at during this time if you don't like fishing deep. Obviously, you know, I'm going to lean more towards the deep side. I feel like I get bigger bites when I go out deep. And so today, you'll actually see some video here in just a second. I caught one on, pretty decent one on a Carolina rig this morning, which I'll show to you guys right now. I'll show you that Carolina rig setup so you can see it. But I have the, I've got a hog wallah set up on it. Same thing as always, still the same setup as I told you last time. I've got the 3/4 ounce weight. Actually, I think that might even be a 1/2 ounce weight. Just a standard little bead here, and then my leader line is a monofilament. It's about 20 to 25 pound monofilament leader, and then I just put that on a little 3/0 hook with a hog wallah. You can see my tail is actually ripped off, so I got to get a new one. Apparently I got a bite last time. I didn't even realize it, but usually it's got a bigger tail than that, and it comes over. They actually tore this one up pretty good, so you can see that was a good bite this morning. Had a couple bites on that, and then landed that good one, and then some smaller timmies and things like that that probably weren't even worth showing you on video. But hey, we're getting bites, so that's a good thing. So if you're out deep, definitely Carolina rig. I think that's going to be your top choice. You either want to throw like a brush hog or this hog wallah. The other thing you might want to throw on there are some worms. So you know, anytime you get into August, worms seem to really be effective. I like to Texas rig my worms. I also like to Carolina rig my worms, so this is going to count for both of them. But when we start talking about worms, I like this 10-inch worm by Berkley. I've always just it's old school 10-inch worm with a little bit of curly tail. This is the same type one, just a different color. I really like the purples and the darker colors, so you could try those out. And then this is just a smaller version. I think this is like a 7-inch ribbon tail, and these work good on shaky heads, and they also work good on Texas rigs, so you can try that on both. So with me talking about Texas rig, you know what my number 2 thing is going to be. It's going to be, if you're out deep, as well as if you're shallow, you know, Texas rig worm is going to be a good choice for sure. So I've got a worm set up right here, stuck on my shaky head. I was throwing this out deep today, and I was actually throwing it out by the brush piles in front of Terry, and I hooked into a really nice fish. And when I did, it took me into the brush pile and broke me off, like wrapped me completely around the tree, and then I ended up breaking off. So I would definitely say throw this. This is that new ridge worm by 6 cents. I got this in my monthly subscription. You can see the tail on it's just beautiful. It's not split, it's just a big fat tail. I even thought about maybe throwing this on a wobblehead too. I haven't tried that yet, but it might be worth giving it a whirl. But anyways, I was throwing this around the brush piles. You can see I had to peg it because I was around the brush piles. Typically I wouldn't peg it. I think this is a 1/4 ounce or maybe a 3/16 ounce weight that I have on there. And then pretty much just that 3 or 4/0 hook. I think this one's a 4/0, and I just put that ridge worm on there like that and just drag it around. So this is definitely an effective lure to be using right now. You can throw that out deep with a 1/4 ounce weight to 10-inch worm, and then you can also lighten it up, maybe get like an 1/8 ounce weight or something even lighter than that, and flip it around docks and stuff like that. That can be a very effective way to catch fish. So definitely Texas rig you a worm, or get you a Carolina rig, throw brush hogs, throw those hog wallahs, and throw those big worms. You're gonna have some success. So the next thing I want to talk to you about is that kind of covers the deep bite. I wouldn't really screw around too much. I would throw a crankbait, which I talked about last week. Get this for you guys. I would definitely be throwing crankbaits. So especially if it's windy, like today we got a pretty good wind. So I was throwing the crankbait earlier. I didn't get any bites on it, so I'm not sure I would call this my top bait for this weekend, but it's definitely a bait that you don't want to overlook. So you can see I've got multiple different depths. This is a very deep one, a 10XD. I think this is a Rapala that goes to 16 foot, so I was going pretty deep. the fish that I did catch today were all deep, or the deep ones were all in 20 foot of water. So I was pretty far out there. I think that one that you'll see on that you saw in the video, that 2.5 pounder, that was actually like 22, 23 foot of water. So very, very deep. Caught that one on the Carolina rig. But don't forget about your crankbaits, especially on windy days. If it's not windy, don't even screw with it. But if you got the windy day, you definitely want to throw that. And then last but not least, again, it's that time of year when things start to kind of change just a little bit. You know, our days are getting a little bit shorter, things like that. The water's still super, super hot. And so another pattern that actually starts to work is finding creeks with running water. So you've got a couple of those here on Hubbard. You got, the main one obviously is the river. So I don't know yet because I haven't been up in the river. I might even go up there this weekend, but I'm thinking that might be where we need to be fishing right now because it's got a lot more oxygen in the water. There's probably still a little bit of current up there. I imagine all the flooding has probably has succeeded, and now we can actually see you know, where the laydowns and stuff are and be able to flip around those. So if I was fishing this weekend, which I'm going to try to fish this weekend, hopefully I can, I'm probably going to head upriver, see if we can find anything up there, or I'm going to hit where all these creeks come in. So any creeks that we have out here on the lake, or maybe even on your lake if you're not out here on Hubbard, any creeks that you know that there's water flowing, that there's constant water flowing, it doesn't ever dry up, you need to go fish around the mouths of those because there's tons of oxygen, and so that's going to get you a lot more bait fish. The bass like it, everything like it. So get up in there, get around the mouths of those creeks, and then get back in those creeks. You'll be surprised at the fish that you can find back there. So when you're back there, you're obviously flipping cover and stuff like that and looking for those deeper holes. So when you're flipping cover, I don't think that there's a better bait than this Rage Menace. I mean, it's awesome. I love it. Or Rage Bug, whatever the heck it's called. This is what you need right here. Let me see what the actual name of it is, because I always call it by the wrong name, and it's almost embarrassing. It is a Rage Bug, so it looks just like this. This is a purple and pink one, which is a pretty cool looking color. But this, my friend, is the way that you want to flip. I mean, this bait has gotten me so many fish flipping. I almost just flip with this and that's it. I mean, there's not too many other baits that I'll flip with. I talked about flipping with the worm, so you definitely might want to try that, but definitely get you some of that. Black and blue, obviously, tried and true, is a color that I like. Watermelon works. You can also try this purple and pink. That works good as well, but if you're going up the river, you definitely want something you can flip around. So I would definitely flip something like that, flip it just around every single log you can find, every kind of cover, every piece of cover, anything you can find, just throw it up there as tight as you can. So that kind of covers us. We talked about going up in the river. The only other thing that I might throw up in the river, if we've got a little bit of chop in the water or maybe a little bit of current, would possibly be the jackhammer, chatterbait. So maybe get you a chatterbait, put you on a pretty decent trailer, swim bait or something like that, and throw that around. Throw it around the cover and stuff like that, and throw it a little bit slower. So don't just chuck it out there and just reel it in super fast. Throw it out there, let it hit the stump or whatever it is, pop it a couple times like you would a jig. Sometimes you'll get a bite there, let it fall back down the bottom, and then just kind of slowly pull it back as you're reeling it in and see if you get bit that way, and just definitely change all your different retrieves until you can figure out what they like. But I've had a lot of success on a chatterbait up there in the river, so definitely give it a try if you're going to go up there. And then the last bait, guys, is my tried and true. I actually caught a little Timmy on it today over there by the harbor. I went over by the waterfall to try to catch some fish, just to get some things going for today. I knew I was going to catch a small one over there if I did catch one, and sure enough I did. I caught little Timmy. But if you want to just catch fish, you want to come out here, maybe you're getting burnt out because the summer's got you down and fishing's just tough, and you just want to go catch some fish. You don't care if it's a 10-inch fish or an 18-inch fish. You really don't care. You just want something on your hook. You've got to go with the shaky head. 1/4 ounce owner shaky head. Put you a brush hog on there like we talked about last week, and just go around and pop that thing off the bottom. And as you do, you will get fish. I don't know how big a fish you're gonna get, but you're definitely gonna get some fish. So find you some riprap, find you some shaky heads, you're gonna catch some fish. That would be probably my last resort. If I was really struggling, couldn't find anything going, I'd head over to the riprap, I'd throw me on a shaky head, I'd be popping that around, and I'll be throwing those crankbaits. Hey guys, I hope you have a good time fishing this weekend. It's gonna be a little bit warmer, but hey, I love it. It's way better than fishing in the cold, and the fish are still biting. So make sure you get out there, make sure you hit that subscribe button for us. And if you want some cards to figure out where to fish, on what lakes, we also have those for you. Simplisticfish.square.site. Until next time, guys, I hope you catch your PB. Take care.